rise again to glory then, soar into the sky. If you stop and see, then you just might believe. We're unstoppable, powerful, enough to beat the odds. If you love me, you will see the flames inside of me.
Huh. Huh. 30th. Yes! I was right. It's been so long. Hey everybody, welcome back to Seduce Me, the Demon Wa. And we're doing something. We're going to bed. Is what we're doing. I kept my eyes down, trying to take in more of the situation I was in. I was trapped in a demon world, and Diana was out of commission. The Demon Lord had plans for me, but what exactly was he aiming for? I could have been bait. I could have been revenge. I didn't know, nor could I figure it out. Now, at least I was safe. At least, I hoped I was safe. The woman led me to a room that practically screamed medieval fantasy. Everything was clean, but it still had the old age feel, as if no one had ever stepped foot in the room until that moment.
Rest here for now. When Diana is well again, we can discuss what to do.
Yeah. Thank you. Is there more drink in my... Yes, there is. Hold on a second. I got that Sprite to keep me cool. There we go. I nodded to the woman before she gently curtsied and left, closing the door behind her. I took a moment to observe my surroundings, interested in understanding the aesthetic. This was fantasy turned to reality. It was like I had gone back in time. Why, though? Was the demon world really behind in times, or did magic supersede the technology, and this was the result? Despite the situation I was in... Go away, bug. Which was beyond heartbreaking and terrible, my curiosity... Go die. Began to fester in my mind, as if I was given a golden opportunity to learn something new. There is a fruit fly. Did I get it? I don't know. Okay. Oh, come on, die already. Damn, I was sick of this stuff. However, my thoughts began to drift, and I felt myself becoming weak and dizzy. No doubt from the shock and trauma I had gone through, I stumbled towards the bed, needing to sit down and let everything settle in without passing out. As my ear hit the mattress cover, I let a small, pleasured sigh. Holy crap, this is a comfy mattress! I felt myself fall back and my entire body simply melted into the... Will you die? I will wage war against your kind, fruit fly! I felt myself fall back and the entire body simply melted into the softness beneath my body. It was like I was sleeping on a cloud. Was that possible? Demon magic may have something to do with it. Okay. But I was certain that I was drifting to almost blissful sleep just by lying on the blankets and the mattress. Not caring that I was still in my dress, I closed my eyes and drifted to sleep. I needed the rest since Diana wouldn't be available for a while anyway. What the hell was that? Did you guys see that? It was like a random pop-up. The fuck is this? What are you? What is that? Okay, bye. My computer is not healthy at all. Darkness surrounded my mind, my dreams remaining silent and... Here we go. My dreams remaining silent and hushed in the cool and calm black. No nightmare appeared, no sounds were made. I was simply resting, and that was what my body needed. I let my thoughts wander to my subconsciousness, thinking about what was going to happen now. What will the boys do when they realize I'm gone? What will he do? I imagined him finding my way through to the demon world and pulling me back to where I belonged, wrapping me in his arms and swearing to never let me go. I just saw a fruit fly dive bomb. Where are you? Where are you? I'm gonna get you. Okay, bye. You better not go in my drink, I swear. I'll be very mad if there's a fly in my drink. I would be relieved and would be married. I swear to God. I swear. And we'd be married just as we planned. How unrealistic was that? You're in the demon world. I don't think anything's unrealistic right now. I had to be realistic right now. I was stuck, and the only one who seemed to be able to send me back was Diana and her companions, whoever they were. I had to trust them, whether I liked it or not. Eventually, I did rise from my sleep, somehow fully refreshed and calm. How could that have been?
Did you have a good rest?
Yep, I Can't get rid of this fruit fly that's been flying around. It's kind of bugging me. Bugging. I turned my head to see Diana at the door, arms crossed and leaning against the door's archway. She had a look of concern and pure curiosity on her face as she awaited my answer. Do you know how to knock? I'm just gonna say yes, I don't really care anymore.
Good. A good rest is always important, especially to humans.
Yeah. What about demons?
We rest as well, but it's not sleep like you humans do. We simply rest with our eyes open.
It's kind of like a fish. Fish don't sleep, they just kind of go into a quiet state. Fun facts! Add some cheesy music. Fun facts of the day about fish.
It's easier to avoid getting killed when your eyes are open.
True that. I gulped. Were demons really that paranoid, or were the... Fuck you! Get out of here! Did I get you? Man, he's so small, he just goes into the crevices between my fingers and makes it. Or were they paranoid for a reason? Dana shook her head and stepped into the room, closing the door behind her.
So we need to find another way to get you back to the human world. It won't be easy, but I believe it can be done by tonight, at the latest.
Tonight, really? Dana nodded and crossed her arms again, leaning on one hip.
It will take time to get our shadow agents to gather the necessary supplies, but they are not hard to obtain, being that we're in a position of power.
Where are you?
You must be lucky.
Where are you?
I just saw you. Aha! Did I get it? What's that? What's that in my hand? Ew! I don't know. I don't even know anymore. What do you mean? You've seen that before. Dana said before casting a short spell under her breath. In front of me appeared a floating map, almost like a hologram. It showed an entire world with mountains, plains, forests, and it was all surrounded by seawater. Nope. Little asshole still... I think I just caught him in my hand. No, I didn't. Oh, he's teasing me now! He's just like dancing! Oh, there's more than one! Oh, no! I'm being taken over by the flies! Oh, damn. Where am I? I was also in the very center of them.
That is where we are currently.
Did I read that?
The center of the abyssal plains.
Okay, ignoring the fruit fly for now. Dana then ran her finger in a circle around the marker, showing a perimeter around it.
Everything we need for the spell is within this area. It will just take time to gather the materials and prepare it.
I nodded to understand the situation. I was going to hopefully be able to go home tonight, which was better than not going home at all. So what should I do until then?
My suggestion? Stay in this room. I can mark this room as off-limits so that no demon may enter that would confuse you for an intruder and kill you.
I gulped. I did not want to die. As Diana made the magical map disappear, she shrugged.
However, I cannot stop you from whatever you wish to do. Just don't leave the castle.
I nodded as she turned to leave. As she stepped out, Diana looked back at me with a reassuring look.
We'll get you back to the human world. I promise you that.
You're so sweet, one boob. Finally, she left me alone in the room. I let out a small sigh and looked up at the ceiling. I had to wait until tonight to actually do anything. What was I going to do? Part of me agreed with Diana's suggestion, wanting to stay in the room and be safe in case the guards didn't know who I was and would kill me on sight. My curiosity, however, wouldn't leave me alone, and wanted to explore the castle. I was handed an opportunity to explore a castle in the demon world, and part of me did not want to go waste. You stupid fly, you bastard! Did I get it? Nope. Did I get him that time? Nope. Maybe I shouldn't have killed that spider. I was torn on what to do. We're gonna explore. There was no way I was letting this chance pass me by. I stood and walked towards the door, opening it a crack and looking around. There was no one in the hall, but there were 2 directions to go. Which way? Let's go left. I went with left. I closed the door behind me as I exited my room and began to make my way down the left corridor. Everything was definitely medieval style, and I felt a bit small in the hall. That rhymed! It was like I was in a fairy tale, walking around in a wedding dress. It almost felt dreamlike. The passage seemed long, decorated with wall candles, paintings, and random curtains and flowers. It was mystical to see, and I smiled. Oh, goodness. As I approached another fork in the hall, however, I sighed. Really? How does anyone find their way around? I looked back, knowing I hadn't walked far from the room. I couldn't turn back. Yet. Oh, I could turn back. Yeah, let's go left. I was heading left anyway. Might as well make another left. I turned left once more and headed down the hall, greeted by more hiccups. Fantastical decor. See, Whoa, fighting. I was gonna explain the reason for my hiccups, but fuck it. The sound of heated battle caught my attention. I quickly rushed over to see a door barely opened a crack, and behind it echoed the sound of clashing swords. Get him! I peeked in to see Diana and this fruit fly, and the guard that was with her before an intense sword fight. Now that I could take a closer look, the man was extremely handsome and looked human, yet I could sense that he was very much a demon, just from his presence alone. The man had the upper hand, but it was easy to tell that he was holding back slightly by letting Diana swing her sword again and again before attacking her, and forcing her to defend. The look on Diana's face showed fear, concentration, and almost anger as her sword clashed with his. I had never seen Diana this intense before, so to see stress and determination written across her expression was surprise. Why was she fighting with a sword, though? She had human magic.
You're holding back! Enough!
Oh, man. Diana jumped back from the man, bringing her... What is stabbing me? Ow. Goodness. My poor wrist. Jumped back from the man, bringing her sword to her side as the man did the same in the perfect sync. She growled before tossing the weapon to him, and he caught it by the hilt with ease.
I told you not to hold back. Didn't you hear me?
Don't worry, I got this. The man stared at Diana before gently bringing the swords together and making them vanish into soft black mist. He began to walk towards her. What was that? Something behind me? Is there like a demon behind me? Poltergeist or something? She began to walk towards her. He began to walk towards her as she turned around and crossed her arms.
You can't treat me as if you are training a child, Sarah. I need to be ready for whatever the Demon Lord throws my way, and you holding back is only a hindrance to me.
I apologize, my lady.
Empty words.
Ouch. It clicked. They were trading. Good job, Sexto. Good job. Wait, did I name her something different? I forgot. That this man was her trader and she was being treated like a novice. Why? Is there a poltergeist? Poltergeist? Keep hearing noises. Okay. Why? Also, he did apologize, but why was she being so harsh about it? Maybe it was a mistake. Dana let out a sigh and walked to the balcony of the room, laying her hands on the railing and leaning over her arms.
As each day goes by, my kingdom, my army, and I are constantly at risk. If I cannot defend myself when my energy runs out, then how will I defend this kingdom?
You will be victorious.
I will be slaughtered because of your inability to train me properly.
You know why I cannot, and yet you still demand it of me. I cannot bring myself to even potentially harm you.
And that will lead to my death.
What? What was Sarah talking about? Why couldn't he train her properly? Why was she so peeved about it? Couldn't she just get another trainer?
You will not die, my lady. I promise you that.
Empty words!
I cannot trust anyone who says that to me.
But you know that it's true. I will repeat my promise over and over to you until you accept it.
That promise comes out of a lie.
I'm trying to get my dog to come into me. I feel lonely. I watched Seto walked over, whatever the fuck his name is, to Diana and gently wrapped his arms around her. Ooh, my phone battery's dying. Goodness. This is not a time for Pokemon Go. Seto walked over to Diana and gently wrapped his arms around her from behind. She didn't resist, but she didn't lean into the embrace either.
My love for you is not a lie, Azair.
You do not have permission to use my name.
I almost killed the fruit fly! It's on my screen. I think I got it. I think I got it.
You are avoiding the subject. My feelings for you are real.
Your feelings are false.
You're false.
They are as pure and true as your golden heart.
Oh, yeah. I could not believe what I was seeing. Diana had an admirer, this fucking fruit fly. When did this become a thing? Who even was this guy to her? Why was she so against him and his love?
You will defeat the Demon Lord and bring freedom to the Abyssal Plains. You will rise and become the land's new queen and sovereign, and I will stand beside you forevermore, because I love you.
That's so sweet.
Deny my love all you may. I have served you and your family my entire life. I could never lie or hurt you. If you truly cannot love me back, then I will remain as your humble protector and servant till the end of my days.
You waste your life on me.
It is not a waste to serve and protect the woman I love with my life.
You waste your love on me.
It's not a waste to love such a wonderful woman.
This is so sweet. The ship, I can see it, and I don't even have to squint. I didn't know what to make of this. Sato really seemed dedicated to Diana, yet she was putting up some sort of emotional wall between them that he couldn't break through. It was sad to watch, yet from the posture Diana held, I could tell that she felt her actions were justified. Maybe she was trying to protect him from her. Maybe she didn't want to hurt him. I had seen firsthand what she could do if you had something she needed. This must be how she acted when something needed her goodness. Mwah! I don't know if anybody wants to see this, but here you go. Got a good look? Alright, good. Diana gently sighed to his, and my surprise, Diana turned her body slightly to Sato in his arms and ran her hand over Sato's chest, making his uniform top vanish, just pop off, into purple mist, leaving his chest bare with that random scar that still not explained. What was Diana doing?
I need energy.
Bossy!
From me, or do you wish me to...
Just give me your energy. I have no time to wait for you to get me a sweet flower.
Okay. Sato nodded before gently turning Diana fully to him in his arms and kissing her. I'm getting distracted by the picture, I'm sorry. For some reason, it may have looked like a normal kiss, but I could feel the love and the passion that ran through it. It was also magical to watch. One thing was for certain, however, he really did love her. The way he held her painted his feelings like a picture, so openly, gentle, and loving. Did she love him, though? She simply had one hand holding on... Help! Somebody read this for me!
Self-voicing enabled. One thing was for certain, however, he really did love her. The way he held her painted his feelings like a picture, so openly gentle and loving. Did she love him, though? She simply had one hand holding one of his arms while another rested against Saro's back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Self-voicing disabled.
Thank you for your service. Diana's feelings were enigma. I quickly took the moment to leave, not wanting to disturb them and not wanting to see their moment go any further than a kiss. That'd scar you for life. I remained in my room until the night came. I was given food, which looked like soup. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know that the food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple of days away. Oh, my rabbit's trying to make a great escape. You get back in your cage. Get back in your cage. Get back in your cage. Don't look at me like I'm stupid. Don't you dare jump in that chair. Thank you. I leave my rabbit's cage door open, because the feeling of freedom, but I think she's taking advantage of that. Which was a couple of days away. Being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat. Looks like beef stew, something I haven't had in a while. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? Just eat it. I gulped. I had to try it. I had to eat it. I hadn't eaten in 2 days, even before I came to the demon world. I was pretty certain Diana wouldn't poison me now, and I was fairly sure that she wouldn't serve me anything disgusting. I lifted the spoon that was sitting in its broth, letting it capture some of the stew as it rose. I mean, it wasn't terribly scary to look at. Goodness. I gulped and slowly brought the spoon to my lips, feeling the heat emanate from the stew. There was a knock on my door. Let me knock on your door. Okay. Breaking me out of my train of thought. Come in. The door opened to reveal Diana with a plate, holding things I recognized. Bread, cheese. Let out a heavy sigh of relief before Diana laughed.
I suggest not trying that. As good as it smells, the taste would not sit well with you.
Instantly, I moved the bowl to a nearby table, thankful I did not have to try it. Diana handed me the plate and nodded, reassuring me that what was on it was indeed what it seemed.
It's not much, but it's human food. Eat up.
I will. I began to chow down, feeling the hunger in my stomach dissipate with each bite and swallow. The food I was eating, surprisingly, was delicious. Did I summon a ghost? Did you hear that? Where's my phone? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. What just fell? What was that? There's like nothing behind me that has fallen. Everything I know that is in my room is sleeping. The hell was that? What the hell was that? Oh, I think I did summon a ghost. Oh, dearie me, oh my. Oh, if I get dragged away into the hallway screaming, call the cops, and then wonder how this video got on the internet. So I began to crave something to drink. Diana chuckled and formed a small goblet in her hand, filled with clear liquid that I assumed to be water. I took it and drank it down, feeling my thirst quench before I let out a sigh. I feel so much better.
I can tell. Take a moment to finish eating. Then we'll head for the ritual.
I looked up at Diana, suddenly excited. Everything was prepared for? Was it possible to go home now? As if she read my mind, she smiled and nodded. I'm gonna exorcist up in this bitch.
We finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and we'll start.
I couldn't continue eating. My mind went into obsessive frenzy of wanting to go home. I stood up, moving the plate and the goblet to a nearby table. Let's go!
Huh? Are you sure?
I nodded, not wanting to waste any more time. I needed to get home and I was tired of waiting. Diana stared before nodding and heading to the door, opening it for me and exiting after me. As she closed the door behind her, I began to feel my heart flutter in relieved joy. I was heading home. Hey guys! Diana led me down the corridor to the war room where I had originally arrived to reveal the table covered in plants, artifacts, and other different kinds. There we go. None of it made sense to me, but I had only assumed it was what it was needed for the spell to work. Goodness. Diana walked to the table and took note of what she saw, nodding.
This should work.
You're in doubt?
Have to be after the last time we tried sending her home. Do we have a human anchor?
No, you're on your own this time. But we'll make sure you survive casting it.
Good. Hey. Stop scratching yourself. Causing a scene. Come here. Come be my buddy. Come be my buddy, Lily. Yeah, it's my doggy.
This spell should work, however, because we'll be using energy material. It will only require a slice of your energy on top of these items, which your guard can refill immediately after this.
Or I can. Wink wonk.
Just make sure you don't die casting it.
Try my best. Diana smiled at her guard before turning to me.
So, are you ready to return home?
She didn't have to ask. I'm ready. Diana nodded once more before turning back to the table. She lifted her arms over the surface and lowered her head, muttering under her breath.
Tenebris portas, apriat nobis, largiatur exidium, desiderium.
As she spoke, the table began to glow as she did. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arched her back, staring at the ceiling. A glimpse of her eyes made me gasp. Warm gold orbs covered her blood red irises. Glowing with magic, she was deep within the spell, and I could see it slowly draw energy from her body. The items on the table began to gleam wildly, light orbs floating from them, and dancing in the air above the table's surface. They began to weave back and forth with each other. Goodness, almost as if the lights were dancing to a silent tune. The other demon stepped back as Diana moved her arms up and pointed to the dancing lights. Her finger pointed into the air, leading the lights to follow what it directed obediently. She drew a large circle in the air, and the lights followed like a perfect trail, spreading out and forming a large void in the air. As they finally stopped moving, they burst into a bright light, causing the demons and I to cover our eyes from it. It engulfed the room, but died down just as fast, revealing a small tear in the air. Diana quickly leaned forward and dug her hands into it before pulling the tear apart, revealing my bedroom. Hi there. Diana continued to pull the tear open, giving enough space for me to jump through.
Hurry and go through! This is your chance!
I wasn't going to let it go to waste! I gripped the bottom of my dress and rushed forward, using momentum to jump into the air, forward, towards the void. Scream into the void! I could almost reach it. I could feel the air conditioning in my room right at my fingertips.
She will never leave this world alive!
Fucked. The demon lord's voice rang through the air just as I saw my fingertips pass through the tear. What stopped the rest of my body was a red light and a force forcing me and Diana from the opening. I could totally be a voice actor. I felt my body fly backward and slam to the wall before I landed on the stone ground. I heard Diana as well land beside me in a painful thud. I looked up and felt my heart break as the tear became wrapped in red lightning, zipping itself zipping itself closed. I can't read anymore. And vanishing into the thin air. No, this could not be.
Damn it!
Paige is like, whoa. Oh boy.
That should have worked. How could it have failed?
We must have missed something. Was there anything we had forgotten?
No. I verified everything myself.
Then why was the Demon Lord able to overpower a gate spell?
Calm down.
I highly doubt you know either, brute.
Stop fighting! We need to make a plan, and all of you are just being stupid! Stupid, 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 stupid!
Yeah, Faye. Good job keeping everybody calm.
Are you alright, Azir?
Yeah, don't panic.
I'm fine.
I was too lost my mind to fully understand what was going on around me. I was so close. I felt the other side. I had almost made it home. Why couldn't I go home? Diana's grunt of pain next to me made me shoot my head towards her, and I watched her slowly push herself off the ground and glare at the table.
The Demon Lord must have done something more than simply bring her here.
What could he have done?
The Demon Lord is incapable of doing anything of the sort. His lackey imps must have done something to her.
A spell?
A curse.
Who said that? Who said that? Because everybody's all surprised now. I looked at... Oh, rabbit. I looked at the rabbit woman, seeing her stare wide-eyed at me. The other demons stared at me as well, and suddenly I felt like I was on display. Was something wrong with me?
She will not leave the demon world alive. He must have placed some sort of curse on her to prevent her from leaving this plane. In order to leave, she'd have to die.
What? My mind went blank. Did the demon world, yep. Demon Lord really cursed me? Was I forced to stay in this world until I died? I could never go back?
Are you suggesting a barrier curse?
That would explain the red energy that sealed the tear.
But dark magic like that requires...
Blood of 1,000 demons. He must have sacrificed part of his army to cast a curse on her that would prevent her from leaving.
The Demon Lord is that desperate for her.
The only way to break that kind of curse is to kill the caster, the Demon Lord himself.
She's trapped here until this war is over.
Well, ain't that just dandy? My body began to shiver violently. The Demon Lord killed 1,000 demons just to trap me here? Why? My goodness! I slammed my fist into the ground and began to scream. I want to go home! Why? Just why? I could feel the sympathy and anger in the room, but I didn't care. I was beyond livid. I was far past broken. I was seeing red. Wait.
Self-voicing enabled. Sexte
The fuck was that?
Self-voicing disabled.
The fuck was that? My voice ripped through the air. A bright light erupted through the room. Once again, everyone covered their eyes, but Diana quickly scrambled to get on her knees and cover me with her body. She held me tightly as the light invaded the space and slowly began to fade. As the light finally died, everyone moved their hands to see what had happened. In the air was a white tear and was slowly opening, facing down towards the table. Something was coming. I could feel it in the air. The guard summoned his spear and pointed at the tear, glaring at it and gritting his teeth.
Something's coming!
Yep, got that. In reply, Diana summoned what looked like a saber and placed it in front of us.
Ready yourselves! It could be the Demon Lord!
Through a white light? I don't think so. The other demons in the room readied themselves and stared at the tear, either holding a weapon or preparing a spell. I felt the air change, becoming heavier as the tear began to grow. The energy around it began to pulsate, making everyone in the room that much more tense. I stared at the tear as well, frightened as to what was coming. Was it the Demon Lord, his minions? My mind began to cycle through fearful ideas of what was about to appear. Why not, though, right? Just dropping by. My heart almost stopped. Falling from the tear and landing on the table were 5 Incubi brothers. They were piled on top of one another, having come through one at a time. However, as the last brother landed, the boys fell to one side, toppling off the table and landing on the floor. The rebels around me stared at the fallen pile of Incubi, confused and surprised. As the tear in the air closed, the orc, I think, man was the first to lower his sword.
What the hell?
Who are they?
Careful! They could be the Demon Lord's men!
In a way. No! The rebels looked at me as I stood up, Diana following and still protecting me. I stared at the boys on the ground. They all looked dazed and a bit shell-shocked from having fallen twice in rapid succession. I almost couldn't believe it. There they were, right in front of me. My mind couldn't help but remember how I first met them. They had all been on the floor in my mansion, unconscious and wounded. Now they were in front of me, in the demon world. I know them. Alley-oop, what's up? I stared at the one I was meant to marry, seeing him slowly shake his head and rise from the ground. They came to rescue me. He came to rescue me. My heart became overjoyed and full of warmth and happiness. I was going to go home. The question was, how? As the sight of the boys kept the demon's attention, a second tear opened above them, causing everyone to look up. 4 women dropped from the tear and somehow managed to fall into the arms of the incubi behind Matthew.
Whoa!
He's so cute.
I gotcha.
Twyla.
Whoa, are you okay?
Eric!
My love.
Love, I've got you.
James!
Whoa, are you all right?
Beautiful. I stared wide-eyed. Their wives came too. Yeah, same. Same. I just can't get over that face. It's kind of like, welp. I watched as the boys and the girls finally planted themselves on the ground before looking around. However, Matthew instantly bolted from me, causing Diana to jump away in surprise. Boy! Boy, I will slap you. Matthew wrapped his arms around me and I instinctively tensed up from being charged up before taking in his scent and physical form. He was here, I wasn't dreaming. He really came for me, and here he was holding me.
Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I think I'm okay. Mentally not, but physically, yeah. I'm fine. I almost couldn't believe it, but I was wrapped in... God. But I wrapped my arms around Matthew's torso, pulling him tighter to me as I took in one more whiff of his scent. Oh yeah, you smell good. However, before I could melt into his arms in relief at his presence, he was forcibly dragged back.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
Whoa!
What? What? I watched as the fairy figure gripped Matthew's hoodie and roughly pulled him away from me with an angered face. Wait, hold on!
Matthew!
Before anyone could react, Matthew spun around and swiped at the fairy. Dude! Dude! They squeaked and released him, floating higher in the air.
Hands off!
You hands off!
Bitch! I quickly rushed over and held Matthew's hands, wanting to bring his attention away from the fairy and back to me. Blech. I reached up and grabbed Matthew's face, pulling on me. Kiss me, boy! And kissed him. His eyes stared in shock before he melted against my lips and held my head in his hands, kissing me deeper. You're all saying, May, breathe slower, but if I breathe slower, I'll start sounding like this bitch.
Self-voicing enabled. I reached up and grabbed
Nope.
Self-voicing disabled.
I closed my eyes in sync with his as I lowered my hands and wrapped them around his shoulders. I was beyond happy to feel him again. At that moment, I didn't even care how he had found me. I was just happy that he was there with me again. Faye is not having it. Faye is not having it. Unfortunately, Matthew and I couldn't stay close for long. The fairies shouting caused us to pull apart and to look at them.
He has the same aura as the Demon Lord!
Baby. Well, Dan just doesn't know what to do with this. Rubbing her head and glaring at the fairy, Dana stepped up, crossing her arms and rubbing her temple.
Well, he is the son of the Demon Lord.
There you go.
That's not what I meant! I'm saying... Ugh!
Faye, calm down. Express your feelings, but not that way.
Come on, let's get you home.
Problem. Matthew gently took my hand and took me towards his brothers. However, this time Dana stepped in front of Matthew.
I'm afraid she can't leave.
She's my bitch now.
And why not?
She's been cursed. She can't leave this plane without dying. But if you wish to kill your bride to bring her back to the demon world, then be my guest.
Whew, so snappy. Whew. Matthew glared at Diana and stepped in front of me protectively.
Why should I believe you?
It's true, unfortunately. Matthew, the Demon Lord cursed me, so I can't leave. Ain't that wonderful? I placed my hand on Matthew's shoulder, causing him to turn his head and look at me in surprise. His expression morphed into anger and sudden fear.
What? You can't be serious.
I am, though. I am.
We are, but don't worry. We plan to kill the one who cursed her soon enough.
When?
1 week's time.
1 week? What?
Oh. Ooh, that reached octaves I could never reach.
Where is this number coming from, Succubus?
We need to fully prepare ourselves for the final stage, which I'm certain will only take a couple of days. We've pinned him into a corner. the Demon Lord will fall.
That's rather bold to assume.
She's right, though. We can prepare everything in that time frame, right?
And if he does the same and attacks us before then?
He won't.
I watched as Diana walked over and cleared the table of the materials they had gathered for the gate spell. Revealing the physical map of the Abyssal Plain, she pointed to a spot on the map. A peninsula surrounded by water, labeled as the Decaying Sea. Hey, you remember that, Diana? Yeah. Good old times.
We'll cast a barrier spell along the edge of the peninsula and around the castle. He and his army won't be able to move from that spot until we break it ourselves, which will be during the siege.
Oh, my eye itches. Hold on, jeez.
Where would we get the energy needed for that kind of spell?
You.
We won't be using energy.
The other rebel demons in the room suddenly tensed up, staring at Diana in surprise. What was she going to do?
My lady, you're not suggesting...
The Demon Lord has shown how far he is willing to go to win this war. It's only fitting to show the extent we'll go to in response.
As much as I agree with you, this seems a little rash.
What are you guys talking about?
Are they allowed to know?
I plan to put a barrier curse around the Demon Lord's castle and army. It's temporary, so it won't need the blood of 1,000 demons. But it will need the sacrifice of at least one demon life.
And I assume you'll be sacrificing one of my soldiers.
Is this our only option?
There are other options, but they will most likely take a lot of energy to pull off.
It just depends on what we want to do. If we want to do this immediately, then the barrier curse is indeed the best option.
I'm not opposed to performing the curse. As rash as it is, it will make our lives easier in the long run.
You expect me to hand over one of my men? My soldiers joined the rebellion to kill the Demon Lord, not to get their throats slit before even seeing the final battle?
It's wrong, but can we really afford to spend any more energy? Diana already spent a lot trying to send the human back.
What is the other option?
The robot woman and the fairy moved towards the map and pointed at the peninsula.
We could form tall rock walls around the castle. Box him in.
It will take a lot of our energy, but we can recover in that week period.
Happy birthday. Sorry, Skype told me it was somebody's birthday.
And what will stop the Demon Lord from tearing down the walls?
Get out of here, fly.
I can imbue the walls with holy magic.
Davian cannot handle. Okay. I've been attacked by a fruit fly! Just went into my mouth. Fuck. Thinkubai and I looked at him, all of us equally surprised. A demon with holy magic? How?
How the fuck did you get holy magic? You look and smell like a demon.
The guard held up his wrapped hand, letting the beads around it jangle with a sudden motion.
I've had the ability to use holy magic ever since I was taken in by my lady's family. There's no doubt that I am a demon, but I can't recall how I gained this ability.
How is holy magic different from the demon magic? Yeah, there we go.
It's white magic. Unlike demon magic, holy magic isn't so finicky. Think of it as warding or dispelling magic. You can't bless air or anything that doesn't have physical form, but you can bless objects to fight back against other forms of magic.
If the walls were blessed with holy magic, the Demon Lord wouldn't be able to escape until we released him.
Why not just trap him forever?
That's idiotic. He would still be a threat regardless. Holy magic doesn't last forever. And stone will crumble eventually.
And I'm still stuck here. There you go, Matthew.
He's right. We wouldn't be able to keep the walls up forever.
The situation became more and more complicated the more we discussed it. How are we going to go about this?
We can't just sit around and debate this forever. The longer we wait, the more we risk him striking back at us.
But is it worth killing someone to trap him?
Okay, sorry there. I didn't know if you noticed the cut, but I had to take a break. One reason is because I heard slamming, so I had to go a little ghost hunting. Second reason, I had to take a break and turn my air conditioner on because it is hot as a Hades in my room. And I can't have my air conditioner on while I'm recording because it's just loud. But anyway, let's continue.
When we finally strike, we will lose hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers anyway. What difference will it make to lose one more life on top of this?
Soulless fuck.
Yeah.
We can still cage him in.
I bit my lip. It was really tough decision, a curse or a trap. Which was better? Both had their prices, but we had to choose one. From the look of it, no one wanted to speak up, so I felt the urge to say something. Sure. Okay. Maybe I would be the one who would determine everything. But which method would be the best choice? Trap. Everyone in the room looked at me as I finally spoke up. We needed to be better than a demon lord. He was willing to sacrifice lives to trap me here, but it only showed how desperate he was to win and how little he valued life. He would lose this war one way or another. It wasn't worth losing someone who could help turn the tide of the war. When can you put the barrier up?
We can leave after this, meeting is over.
Are you sure this is the best choice?
The curse isn't the only option. We need to show that we're better than him. Everyone nodded, some in reluctance while the others did with confidence. I looked at Diana just in time to catch a twitch from her visible eye, but she shook her head and I looked to the rabbit woman.
Are you quite positive this will work?
I am very certain. Since it will be just 3 of us going, we can shadow travel there and be back by the morning.
Diana looked at her guard and nodded.
Very well. If you believe it will work, then I trust you will make sure it does.
As the guard nodded and slightly bowed, the other demons seemed to let out a sigh of relief. Were they worried about performing the curse? Diana shook her head before crossing her arms and looking directly at me.
So, since you'll be here for a while, we might as well give you names that you can use to refer to everyone here.
Are we getting human names?
Must we?
Diana rolled her eyes and gestured to each demon, naming them on the fly.
For the sake of time, we'll use simple names. This is Rabbit, our magic advisor. Sergeant, commander of our armies. Shadow, leader of our assassins. And Faye, our nomadic force ambassador.
Sergeant? I'm a commander, succubus. Shouldn't my name be Commander?
It's easier on the tongue, though, to say Sergeant.
My lady, what shall they call me?
Diana looked at Seto for a moment before turning towards me with a look of seriousness emanating from her eyes.
You may call him Seto. He is my personal guard, and he is always by my side.
The other demons and Seto seemed to be surprised. Was Seto his true demon name? Why would she give me his true name?
Are you sure?
Call him only if your life depends on it. Do not abuse this permission.
Her eyes seemed to burn as she gazed into mine, full of hard intent and warning. I mentally noted her seriousness as she ran a hand through her hair.
Well, now that we have a plan and introductions are out of the way, I believe we can end this meeting. We have a lot to accomplish in 1 week.
What about us? You don't expect us to sit around.
Actually, I do. You all don't belong on the battlefield.
What are you talking about?
I will not take untrained and unarmed beings into a war zone.
Hold on. I interjected, stepping forward and crossing my arms with Diana. She seriously wasn't gonna make us stay back while she fought the Demon Lord, was she? Diana squinted at me, pressing her lips together through a fine line. However, I meant what I said. We could fight too.
You expect me to trust that you can fight in a war?
Let me and my brothers train then. We're demons, for fuck's sake. We know how to fight.
The boy stared at Diana as she turned her head towards Sam. He was right, though. They knew how to train, so they knew how to fight. If they fought with the rebellion, there would be a better chance of winning this war.
You all realize this is a war, correct? You can die here.
We understand completely.
We do as well.
What are you? Dana could only stare at our group as we challenged her proclamation. I wrapped my hand around my fiance's arm, frightened at the idea of participating in a war, but knowing that we needed all the strength we could to muster to finish off the Demon Lord, this was the only way that I could go forward. Defeated, Diana sighed and rubbed her temples.
Very well. I can't exactly keep you here like prisoners, so it will be up to you if you choose to train for battle. However, I highly suggest just staying here and allowing us to handle it.
I nodded as the others. What's happening? This was really happening. We were going to kill the Demon Lord, and we had 1 week to either prepare for war or wait it out. Diana turned towards me and looked down at my outfit. I nearly forgotten that I was still in a wedding dress until Diana pointed at my chest.
Lumen infere, bellum tabescere.
Oops, sorry. I keep doing that. I stared at her, unsure why she was speaking in Latin, until I felt the fabric around my body shift and change. I quickly looked down to see my wedding dress morph into an outfit that looked perfect for the demon world. A white top shifted into a long-sleeved, oversized tunic with leather corset and a vest, while the bottom part of my gown slipped and wrapped around my legs, forming into dark leggings. My shoes stretched into long knee-high boots.
Oh wow! That looks really good on you.
I blushed, getting used to the feeling of the outfit. The corset wasn't tight, but it was still something new along with the rest of my garb. Matthew, however, smiled down at me and kissed over my forehead.
You look really cute.
Thank you.
Faye, Rabbit, you both should finish your preparations and head over to the Demon Lord's castle for the spell.
How are you going to get there?
I'll get us there, no problem.
Just make sure we don't get stuck there or lost.
No promises.
Sarah, make sure the job is done.
I shall, my lady.
Seduce, Faye, and Rab began to make their way out of the room as Diana turned to me and my group. As they left, Diana let out a small sigh.
I will take you to some rooms you may rest in.
Thank you. Diana merely nodded and led our group out of the room towards a new temporary rooms. The entire experience was not something I expected to go through, especially since it was now interfering with my wedding. I was trapped in the demon world under a curse I couldn't break without Demon Lord being killed, and I was expected to wait. The entire journey in my room became one filled with mild anger within me. At least Matthew was here to help me through this, but I couldn't help but let the situation sink underneath my skin. This wasn't fair at all. I knew Matthew could sense my anger as he lightly squeezed my hand, which was gently cupped in his as he walked beside me.
Hey, what's wrong?
Look around you. What is wrong? I think it says tell him, yeah. I let out a shaky sigh and looked at him, letting it go. It's just unfair, you know, the whole thing that has become a large, complicated mess, and I gritted my teeth and squeezed Matthew's hand. I didn't want to complain as things are going to be fixed soon, but it was still infuriating to think that I couldn't do anything immediately. Matthew slowly released my hand and wrapped it around my shoulder.
Hey, don't worry about it, alright? Think about it as a vacation or something.
You're really good at this, Matthew. Good job. A vacation? Matthew grinned and nodded, hugging me slightly to his side.
Yeah, a vacation to, see new sights?
Yeah, you're gonna make a great husband. I couldn't help the amused smile on my face as Matthew tried to make me feel better. It was another reason why I adored him. He did his very best to make sure I was happy. Failing, though. Despite the crabby situation we were in, I was thankful for that. I wrapped my arm around him and nodded. Thanks, Matthew. Matthew smiled and nodded before kissing my cheek.
You're welcome. Anything for you.
Matthew and I continued to walk down the halls of the castle until we arrived at the same bachelor room I had slept in before. I guess that room was mine for now. Stepping in, Matthew looked around in slight awe.
Whoa. Awesome digs.
Oh my gosh. I had to giggle at Matthew's surprise. It was almost like we had stepped into a hotel on a vacation, except this was one forced on us until the end of the Civil War. Well, you know, it was mildly messed up, but it was the situation we had to deal with. I walked over to the bed and sat down, letting out a sigh at feeling the softness underneath me. The bed was still as comfy as last night. Matthew, however, began to walk around the room, taking in the sight of the decor.
This is a really fancy room. I wonder what room the others got.
A fucking box with a mattress on the floor. I smiled, watching Matthew ponder for a moment before replying to a statement. Yeah, apparently this is the open ambassador's room. I was able to sleep here when I arrived. There's a bug on my arm. Matthew, it looks like he just responded to me slapping my own arm. Matthew stared at me dumbfounded for a moment before slapping his forehead and shaking his head.
Right. Time's different here. Holy crap, I forgot about that.
Wait, huh? I became confused about what Matthew meant. What did he mean about time being different here? Matthew looked up at me and grinned sleepishly.
Well, how do I explain this without making it confusing?
You precious little Pop-Tart. Matthew rubbed the back of his head, staring at the fireplace before speaking.
Well, you see, time moves faster here compared to the human world. Like, much faster. If I remember right, then I think the time difference is every 5 hours here is 1 hour there?
I didn't mean to skip that whole entire dialogue, but whatever. Wait, so I was here for a day then? Matthew took a moment to do the math before nodding and speaking again.
Yeah, that's right. You were gone from the human world for about 5 hours.
5 hours? I was astonished. The time difference was really prominent and little disorienting. Didn't that mean time moved faster here? I was getting confused, holding my head to try unscrambling my thoughts as they collided. Yep. Matthew ever rushed over to me and sat down to me, hip to hip.
Hey, don't worry about it, okay? We found you, so that's all that matters.
I could only nod before looking at the ground. It was a lot to take in, but at least I really wasn't missing a day in the human world. However, I was going to be here for a week, so in accordance to the time difference, I would be missing for more than a day. How was everyone at home going to react? I could only hope that something was used to cover to delay the wedding, or the like. I can't read. I looked up to Matthew, now a bit concerned.
Huh? What is it?
Well, what happened while I was missing? Ugh. Matthew frowned a bit and rubbed his head, running his hands through his fluffy hair as he spoke, staring at his knees.
Well, when you didn't come with the rings, we got kind of worried and tried to call you. When you didn't pick up, we kind of panicked, but Irene and Iridessa decided to rush over to the house to see what had happened. They came back, saying you were gone. We pretty much scrambled to use our magic to wipe everyone's memories, reschedule everything, and use the time to find out what happened.
Matthew pressed his lips together, most likely remembering what he felt during my absence. I felt bad, but there was nothing I could have done to stop it. Matthew shook his head and continued.
I guess we have to thank Simon for finding you. Without him, we wouldn't have figured out what happened.
Fuck Simon, though. Simon? Matthew down before stuffing his hand in his pocket, pulling out the infuriating stuffed animal. I knew he'd bring it with him. Simon blinked a couple times before looking up at me and giggling, like he usually did. No, I hate that stupid little squirrel demon spawn of the devil thing with a knife. Simon! Simon jumped from Matthew's hands into my arms and crawled up onto my shoulder, becoming immobile like a doll once he settled between my neck and my shoulder. I gave his head a little pat before looking back to Matthew. Well, he was the one that hid the rings. I had to find him.
I know, but after you were taken, he helped us pinpoint where you were, and bam! Here we are.
Bam. Matthew chuckled a bit as he ruffled some of Simon's fur.
I guess this little fur ball was useful after all.
Surprisingly. I could only smile before leaning over to kiss Matthew's cheek, making him gasp slightly.
Huh?
What? I'm loving you. What the hell? What's your problem? What's your problem, man? What's up? What's up? At least you found me. Soon we'll be able to go home and get married like we planned. And maybe some McDonald's would be nice too. It gave me a little hope to let the thought sink in, despite the terrible situation we were in. We would soon be able to go home. I was positive we would win this war, and everything would work out just fine in the end. Matthew seemed to agree, nodding as well with a smile.
Yeah. We'll go home soon.
Matthew wrapped his arms around me and nuzzled the side of my head, making me softly giggle. My body felt relieved to have him near me, causing me to wrap my own arms around him. My heart was jumping with joy, regardless of the situation we were in. Simon took the cue to hop off my shoulder and quickly skittered across the floor and up the fireplace mantel, resting on it with the decor that sat upon it. Matthew, however, soon released me and fell back onto the bed, feeling its softness.
Man, it's been so long since I felt a demon bed.
Yep, apparently there's a difference. What's the difference from a regular bed? Matthew grinned up at me and crossed his hands behind his head, longing back on the mattress.
Demons don't sleep in this world, so we get very comfy beds just so we can lay back and relax on.
Wait, demons don't sleep?
Nah, we're too paranoid that people will kill us in our sleep.
I see that. How the heck do you function?
Energy and food. As long as we have both, we can pretty much be awake 24/7.
The way that Matthew seemed relaxed about the whole thing made it seem like being here. What? The way Matthew seemed relaxed about the whole thing made it seem like he and the world's exploding. Oh my god. Hopefully that's the last interruption. I just left for about, 15... What is even going on anymore? There's so many interruptions. You breathing okay? You breathing okay, Doc? Okay. There was a cat fight outside. Something else happened. I can't remember. I don't know. But I had to cut there. I was gone for about 15 minutes. A part of me was curious on whether or not I'd actually be able to finish this video, or not he liked being here. In this world more than the human world, but I had to remember he went to the human world of his own accord. Besides, he was ready to marry me and live his entire life in my world. Matthew stretched and let out a groan before relaxing back on the bedsheets, letting out a small yawn.
Oh, I'm tired. You want to hit the hay?
Hay's fine, yeah. I nodded, feeling exhaustion run over me, causing me to lie back and cuddle up to Matthew, nuzzling into his shoulder. He took before wrapping an arm around me.
I love you so much. I promise we'll get home soon.
I smiled, kissing his cheek before closing my eyes and drifting to sleep. Tomorrow was going to be a long day. However, as I opened my eyes, I found myself not looking at Matthew or in my bed, but I felt cold ground beneath me and something tightly wrapped around my neck. What the? And now we're in a jail cell. Well, I looked down, seeing my skin dusty and dirty, which only added more confusion. What was happening to me? I reached up and gasped one more time as I felt a familiar collar around my neck, a chain dangling from the front and running behind me. I instinctively grabbed the collar, trying to pull it off of my neck. As I did, something yanked the chain connecting to it and caused me to fall back, knocking the wind out of me. Ooh. I turned my head to the chain pulled to see a familiar imp demon glaring down at me and gripping onto my chain. It was the same imp from the vision Matthew showed me when Diana came around. But how could this be? I quickly grabbed the chain and tried to yank it from his hands, wanting to be free, but found no strength to actually pull it from the imp's grasp. The imp merely cackled and pulled the chain again, making me fall forward to my stomach. Gah! I froze. This was another dream. I could tell that Matthew was going to be the villain once again. My mind began to panic as I scrambled up to my hands and knees, looking around at the predicament I was in. I was in a large steel cage. My chain hung out between the bars and the hands of the imp guarding my cell. I had no neighbors, nor did I hear anyone else in the space with me. This was definitely my dream. I needed to wake up before Matthew came around. Who knew what he'd do to me? This was a dream after all. I looked around the room, slowly slowing my breath, please, and trying to think logically. What could I do? The first thing was to do something about the chain around my neck. Then I could try to break the door down somehow and be free. Seemed like a good idea. I quickly grabbed the chain again and swiveled it on the ground to be on my bottom. Locking my feet against the door and pulled the chain back, I managed to get some purchase, and luckily the imp couldn't manage to pull me forward from the struggle. A large bolt of red lightning suddenly traveled down the chain and shocked at the collar around my neck, causing me to release a soundless scream. My body became electrocuted in red light and energy, sending waves of pain through every part of me. As he finally stopped, I let out a gasp and fell back into the ground, shaking from the aftermath. My body felt entirely jittery, and licks of pain brushed over my nerves from the shock. What the hell? I could barely look over at the imp from the pain I was feeling, seeing him smirk at what he had done. However, as soon as I saw the grin appear on its ugly lips, a foot jammed to the side of the imp's head, causing it to buckle over. Huh?
You fucking pig fawn! What did you do?
Got electrocuted, man. Look at those horns. Look at those little horns. My eyes glanced over, seeing Matthew in his demon form, glaring daggers at the fallen imp with his foot jabbed into his cheek. As he looked at me, still angry with a snarl across his expression, I gasped, seeing the familiar cold gold color of his eyes. Even Matthew had returned. Gingerly, Matthew took up my chain and pulled me to the door, leaning in and keeping the chain beneath his hands so he could bring my head as close to him as he could without me being pulled against the bars of the door. Staring into my eyes, I was surprised to feel calm and almost hopeful that maybe this was different Matthew. One who wasn't cruel and full of ill intent. Then again, he kept me in a cell and didn't release me, so that was a sign I was wrong. Despite this, he spoke calmly and most comfortingly.
Did he hurt you?
Yeah. Of course, I nodded. Whatever electrocution the imp had done made me feel like I was dying for a split moment. Matthew, in response to my reply, glared at the imp with a deadly pair of eyes, causing the victim in question to slink back against the wall.
I order you not to hurt her. If she's hurt, then she can't give me proper energy, and I won't be able to rule this world properly. Do you know how much of a problem that would be?
The imp opened his mouth to protest, but as soon as he did, Matthew formed a knife in the air and chucked it at his open mouth. A splash of blood erupting from behind the imp's head as the knife embedded itself into the back of his throat. With a garbled whimper, the imp slowly collapsed to the ground, dying at last. I, however, could only watch horrified with my hands over my mouth. What was going on? Matthew turned back to me and pulled my chain slightly, causing me to look back at him with fearful eyes.
There! Now he won't hurt you anymore.
No, he won't, no. Why are you doing this? Let me go. Matthew's face slowly shifted to a cold, sadistic glare.
I would. But how will I know that you won't run away from me?
Because I'm scared. I began to panic. I wanted to be free. I wanted to run, but Matthew here wasn't going to let me go. And I didn't want to stay in the cell any longer. Despite every fiber of my body wanting me to awaken, I couldn't. I had to plead with him. If I was so important to him, then he cared enough about me to listen. Matthew, however, chuckled.
Promises don't mean anything here. The last promise made to me was that Pig Fawn's word that he wouldn't hurt you. And well, you saw how that turned out.
But Matthew,
Do not call me that!
His voice rang in my ears, violently pounding against my eardrums and causing me to wince violently. I cut my hands over my ears, shutting my eyes from the pain, before feeling Matthew draw back, sliding his hand to the end of my chain.
I'm not in the mood to take your energy now. I'll come back another time.
With a flash of blue energy, the chain in his hands vanished and reappeared above me, giving me enough slack to let me lie down, but only if I was directly underneath it. I grimaced and pulled at the chain, wanting to still be free from it, but only heard the chuckle of Matthew's cruel sadism, and turned and began to walk away.
You better be prepared when I get back. I've got a world to rule after all. Can't spend all my time making sure you're ready.
A violent quake ran through my body, and I began to struggle harder, making him laugh as he left the hall out of my sight. Let me go! Let me go! Let it go. I shut my eyes tightly, pulling and tugging as much as I could, despite it being to no avail. I screamed once again, this time breaking the illusion around me and waking up at last. Let me go! Oh, hello, good morning, what's up? I'm gonna end it here, guys, because I'm dying of the heat, and I seriously doubt the interruptions have stopped. So I will see you guys in the next episode.